Douma is the fourth strongest demon that has ever existed in Demon Slayer universe. In this video, we'll be taking a look at how would a fight between each Hashira and Douma go down. And before the video starts, I just wanted to say that there will obviously be Demon Slayer manga spoilers. So if you read the manga or just don't care about the spoilers, enjoy the video. We'll start off with Shinobu Kocho. We already saw her fight with Douma in the manga. She's definitely much faster than Douma, but her downfall lies in her physical strength. She's extremely weak and lacks the capability of cutting off a demon's head. The only way she was able to damage Douma was with her poison, but we later saw that her poison doesn't work on Douma, because he quickly builds an immunity to it. After he ate Shinobu, he ingested 37 kilograms of poison into his body, and that's what allowed Kanao and Inosuke to kill him. But in a 1v1 fight, Shinobu doesn't even stand a chance against Douma. The only thing she has going for her is her speed, but that's not enough. Shinobu is my favorite character in Demon Slayer, and it pains me to say this, but she has absolutely no chance and Douma annihilates her. Next we'll look at Tengen Uzui. He has quite an interesting fighting style. He tries to convert his opponent's attacks into notes in order to read the opponent's attacks better. But unfortunately, same as Shinobu, Tengen doesn't stand a chance. He was fighting on par with Gyutaro, but comparing Gyutaro to Douma is like comparing a house cat to a tiger. Some people think that Tengen can actually win, because he's the fastest Hashira and he can cut off Douma's head. Well, Tengen is not the fastest Hashira, Shinobu is. Tengen's speed is relative to Gyutaro's, so unless you think that Gyutaro is faster than Douma, you can't use that as an argument. But even if he was faster, and he cuts off Douma's head, there's a high possibility that Douma can just regenerate it. Because if Akaze and Kokushibo can regenerate their heads, why couldn't Douma? He was poisoned, so we couldn't see his full capacity and power. There's a high possibility that even he can regenerate his head. Next on the list we have Mitsuri Kanroji. Her best feats come from the fight against Hantengu. Even though she couldn't really keep up with him, she was performing decently. And unlike Shinobu and Tengen, she actually has a Demon Slayer mark. But even that won't make much of a difference in the fight against Douma. Her breathing style is not that good, and even though she is quite agile, I don't think she would be able to dodge all of Douma's attacks. So, same as Shinobu and Tengen, Douma no diffs Mitsuri. Now let's actually talk about someone who actually has a slight chance in a fight, even though if that chance might be 1 to 100. Gyu Tomioka, the Water Hashira, is the first person on this list who can actually do something against Douma's attacks. His Dead Calm ability can neutralize some of Douma's ice shards, but he doesn't have an answer for Douma's ice clones and his giant ice Buddha statue. Douma's ice clones are nothing to joke about, considering that he left them in charge of killing Kanao and Inosuke. Akaze almost killed Gyu multiple times in their fight, so there's no need to continue arguing whether Gyu can win against Douma or not. We can already determine that Kyojuro doesn't have a chance against Douma either, and that's proven in his fight against Akaze. Akaze killed Rengoku, so there's no way that he can beat Douma. And unlike any other Hashira, there's actually no arguments that you can bring on the table. He doesn't have a Demon Slayer mark, he doesn't have a red Ninchirin blade, he can't win. Muichiro Tokito is the youngest and by far the most talented Hashira. Even though his breathing style is not that powerful, he uses it perfectly. After he unlocked his Demon Slayer mark, he effortlessly killed Upper Moon 5 Gyoko. It took Tengen, Tanjiro, Zenitsu and Inosuke all working together to barely kill Gyutaro and Daki, and Muichiro killed a person who is stronger than them by himself. That's an insane level of power right there. I think this is the first opponent on this list that would actually intrigue Douma. And I don't mean intrigued the same way he was intrigued with Shinobu's bravery. Judging by his character, he would probably be at least a little bit excited to fight someone strong. But even though Muichiro is strong, he is not stronger than Douma. He was able to get one good hit at Kokushibo, which is absolutely insane, but he wasn't fighting him alone. He had help from Gyomei, Sanemi and Genya. He was the first person to encounter and fight Kokushibo and he immediately lost his hand. So I don't think he would survive against Douma that long. He would definitely prove to be a decent challenge for him, but that's it. Obana Iguro is the first Hashira on this list that I think would actually put a little bit of pressure on Douma. He had pretty good feats against Muzan. He was even able to pin him down on the ground. And pinning down Muzan, the king of demons, is absolutely insane. Granted, he wasn't fighting alone, but he performed better than most people who were on the battlefield. There's no debating this, Iguro would 100% be able to damage Douma, but he would probably laugh it off like a maniac he is. And even Muzan realized that Iguro is quite problematic, so he definitely has a decent chance against Douma. He could probably keep up with a couple of Douma's clones, but as soon as Douma decides to be serious, the fight ends. Next we have Sanemi Shinazugawa. He had amazing feats in the fight against Kokushibo and was even able to tank a lot of his powerful attacks, although that doesn't mean that he can take as much of Douma's attacks. Douma's attacks are obviously much weaker than Kokushibo's, but they can freeze the person they hit. And even the ice mist that radiates off of his body is enough to freeze you. Douma would have to fight seriously against Sanemi because of Sanemi's fighting style, which is absolutely chaotic. He would probably not waste any time and immediately charge at Douma. Ice clones would be a problem, but he would probably be able to take out a lot of them. It's unlikely that Sanemi would get exhausted in this fight, which is what would make Douma view him as a threat. But same as with Iguro, as soon as Douma gets serious, Sanemi won't be able to keep up much longer. There's a decent portion of people who actually think that Sanemi beats Douma in a 1v1, mainly because of his amazing feats in a fight against Kokushibo. But Sanemi wasn't fighting Kokushibo on his own. If he was fighting him alone, that wouldn't have even been a fight. So Douma beats Sanemi, but it probably wouldn't be as easy as he thought it would be. And last but not least, we have Gyomei Himejima. Out of all the Hashira on this list, he definitely has the biggest chance of winning. He's extremely powerful and with his Demon Slayer mark, he's one of the strongest characters in all of Demon Slayer. He performed better than everyone else in the fight against Kokushibo and was an absolute monster in the fight against Muzan. He could probably avoid all of Douma's ice shards and could probably destroy most of his ice clones. The problem lies with Douma's giant ice Buddha statue. We don't know what it does, but he used it as the last ditch effort in the manga before he died. So we can safely assume that that's the strongest attack in his arsenal. My theory is that it freezes everything around it, but that's just headcanon. Needless to say, whatever that statue does, it would probably be the thing that would end Gyomei. And I just wanted to tell you that this is not my bias for Douma, even though he is one of my favorite characters. I know that a lot of people won't agree on me with this, but if you think that Gyomei wins, that's your opinion and this is mine. And for all the Gyu fanboys out there, I'm not backing up, Gyu has absolutely no chance of beating Douma. I'm sorry to say it, but Gyu is not the strongest character in fiction. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for 100 subscribers and thank you for watching the video, and see you in the next one.